105.9. And those of you that's joining us now on television, GBN Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20 if you're in cable. Those of you that's on Facebook, if you're following us on via our YouTube channel or via the World Wide Web at www.gbn.gd. I'm Joseph Cadore. Welcome to another Mid-Morning Buzz with your boy JC. It's always a pleasure having you here with me. Today, of course, because you know it is Swing Carnival. Did I say carnival? Oh, gee, I'm not supposed to even say carnival. How do you put carnival and COVID in the same sentence? But listen, there's COVID, carnival, cyber monarch. You're probably wondering what in heaven's name that is. Well, you found a whole lot about it. We're going to link up with my girl, Akira Paterson. Of course, she's the face, the Wonder Woman of Judah Song's Sunshine Promotions. And she's here to talk to us about this wonderful, this exciting initiative that's going to hit the summer like a bolt of lightning. Akira, good morning to you, and how are you?
Good morning, JC. I am great. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear. Let me something sounds a bit off.
Splendid.
Good. There you are. There you are. How have you been?
All right. I am great. I'm fantastic. Let me say good morning to all of the viewers on television as well as all of the listeners. Morning, blessings to everyone.
I have noticed since we last saw each other up close, that's the pre-COVID period, that you've done a lot. And you've managed to extend yours, and I've managed to keep mine right at base.
Well, in times of quiet, when things slow down, your hair tends to grow. I don't know what's the scene with you, because I think that you like it like that. But with me, I always keep it going and flowing and growing.
Well, I can safely tell you, I keep mine glowing.
Glowing.
Cyber Monarch, my dear. Normally, of course, the summer is always an exciting time for Sunshine Promotions.
Yes.
But this year, 2020, while we didn't see it coming, it takes on a whole new dimension for you. And this year, of course, in the absence of Carnival, and still wanting to have an appreciation for what the soccer artists they have to offer.
Yeah.
This year, we're not going to the stadium and try to mash the place up.
Right.
We're trying to see this year how we could crash the internet, a cyber monarch.
Yeah. I think the venue is going to be a little bit relieved.
Yeah.
Because they're accustomed to fence being wrecked and the grass being trampled and the field being muddled. But this year is going to take a different tone. And as we're all aware, COVID-19 has just flipped the entertainment industry on its head. But we are innovative people here in Grenada. We are very creative, from all ends and all lengths of it, from the culture and creative industries to all others. And at Sunshine Promotions, we always try to rise to the occasion. So in looking at the limitations that were presented, we also had to look at the innovations and the opportunity for innovation. So that's why we decided to do this Cyber Monarch competition. Again, not just for the sake of having an event, but also to showcase our Grenadian artists, the talent, and the entertainers in a like way that they would usually be accustomed to, and still garner some sort of funds and some sort of payment for them. That's slightly reflective because, the whole season would have been their peak season when they make so much money from different events. So we can't do, 5,000 events and have them make as much money as they would have before, but at least we're trying to do something to put a drop in the bucket so that bills can be paid. So here we are with
Cyber Monarch, Groovy and Power Soccer event. It happens Friday, and that's August the 9th at...
The 7th.
7th, sorry.
Yeah.
And everything happens in Cyberland.
In Cyberland. And what I love about this event too is that it's a King of Kings event. Because we have people who are, prominent in the power genre as well as who prominent in the groovy genre, in the jab, music. But it's going to be a combined event, a groovy round followed by a power round. and the winner is going to be the top of both genres. So it's a cumulative winning on aggregate. So it's not enough to just be strong and groovy or strong in power. You have to be strong in both. So that's the new dynamic that we're introducing with this one. And the artists are rising to the occasion, and they have their little rivalry and competition between them because they're like, but it's all in good fun, they're really sporty with it. So they're like, you're known for power. Let me see, if you could top groovy too. And, it's that kind of vibe and that kind of banter. So I think it really is going to bring out the best in them creatively. What I do like too is that a lot of them have been taken to the studio, releasing new songs. I told everybody they have until tomorrow, Friday, to make sure that all of their new songs hit the airwaves, because we want people to be familiar with the music as well. A few of them had like a power tune or like a really strong groovy tune that they were holding back because they didn't see the need to put out a specific type of song like that without the usual carnival context and stuff like that to work with. So with this opportunity, they're like, great, so they took to the studio working on those tracks. And then so we bring producers into the conversation, writers into the conversation, musicians, because it's going to be backed by a live band. The Heat Wave is going to be backing all 9 of the performance. Yeah, so it's going to be a bumper show. We're also going to have a halftime show, much like the Super Bowl. So people are literally in for a treat, and it's going to be available online through godefet.com, and people can also add it to their local cable packages.
We're going to get into the cast in just a while, but take me through, Akira, the initial thought process. This is a new frontier for not just for Sunshine Promotions. This is for the entertainment industry locally. The initial thought process in terms of the response when you thought of a cyber monarch, because normally when you think of, let's say, Soca Monarch, Carnival, is the rags, the flags, the energy, the excitement, and the euphoria that literally pervades the National Stadium on a Friday night. And someone asking, well, how do you transcend that to an empty stadium, an empty arena, and get the same energy out of these guys?
Well, interestingly that you said that, because one of the contenders in the competition, Electrify, said to me that when he performs in Trinidad Soca Monarch, he feels like he's performing for television and not necessarily for who is in the park, because the energy in the park is different to what he would expect in Grenada. Grenada, we have an energy that is unmatched. And when people come to Soca Monarch, they come to get on for who they getting on for? Or not get on for. We know how it is, but he's like, in that type of context, he feels like this will cause them to rise to the occasion because they have to reach through the screens and impact the people. So it calls for more from them and adapting for that innovation. I mean, in a perfect world, we would have had Carnival, we would have had the Soca Monarch that all of us were accustomed to, but we can't just sit on our laurels and be like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. We can't gather socially. And that's the immediate downfall for the entertainment industry, because it's an industry that's predicated on social gathering as opposed to social distancing. So to work with the times, we have to come up with these innovations. And Judah and a few of his friends were just sitting, having some light conversations. And sometimes when you have light conversations, the best ideas, come from that. And he's like, Akira, why don't we just do like a virtual kind of competition? We charge for it so the artists can make some money, and let's see how we put it together and stuff like that. And immediately, I start racking my brain about how it's going to be framed, what it's going to be called, how we're going to do it, how we're going to monetize it, the artists that we're going to pull in, how we're going to extend it. So we've been having conversations for a few months, actually, discussing this event. The idea has been, going back and forth between different entities to see if we can get and garner a sort of corporate support as well as national support, etc. And in the preliminary talks about the conversation, so many people were excited about it. They're like, yes, this is an innovative idea. Let's try to run with it and let's try to go with it. But again, with the limitations of COVID, we weren't able to open it up to have the semis and the prelims that we would usually do. So we called up a few of the active prominent artists and asked them if they would be open to being a part of an event like this. And they said, well, yeah, now I have a reason to really, start churning out stuff.
Right.
And that's the type of enthusiasm that we want to encourage. I think it's very important for us not to get too laissez-faire or lackadaisical in this time with our work, regardless of whether it's in culture and performing or whether it's just in everyday work. We have to look for innovative ways to bring services to people. And not just for Grenada, but there are thousands of people in the diaspora every year that come to Grenada for Carnival to expect some sort of, release and escape from their everyday life. And the situation in Grenada seems to be handled now for the most part with regards to COVID, but in these outside territories, people are still largely confined to their homes. They're still largely in sequestered spaces. They're depressed. And whatever we can do to help to bring some cheer and some jeer to people, as well as creating an income for the artists in the same breath, that is what we endeavor to do. And so that's how the entire idea came up, a few months ago. And we've been working tirelessly and effortless, I'm just really, really sticking to it to try to see that we could get this to fruition.
So you had and I'm saying painstaking task, because any event that is in its concept period stage,
Yeah.
you always, the
Yeah.
question is, who do we get on board? What's the response to it? And I see here you have the likes of Looney Sparker and Electrify, the Energy Gods. They're there.
Yes.
Rennie J, Little Kerry. Take us through the rest of the rest of the cast.
So we have a stellar cast, and we try to pull on people throughout Grenada because we wanted Grenada as a country to be represented, including the sister island. You would see that with the selections that we made. So we started by coming out the gate really strongly with Looney Spark and Electrify. I love their enthusiasm. They were like, yeah, what do you mean? Oh, we on that. So,
Party time.
just having that conversation with them alone kind of really encouraged me to okay, let's see, what else we can do with this. So Looney Spark and Electrify, Rooney J, who is the reigning king of the road. We have Lil Kerry, we have Slatter from Carriacou, and Slatter is a former road march as well as monarch in Carriacou, and he's doing really well, in terms of his music, his consistency and stuff like that. So we're like, Slatter, what you feel? And he's like, yeah, the big guy coming down. The big guy will come down.
Okay.
and share in this event. And then we also have Ledneck. Ledneck has been having a phenomenal year. He's been producing a lot of songs, and he's been doing really, really well. And I know that one of his songs, Down in the Meat, is a popular one all over. So people are excited about him. And then we have Terra the Governor. And Terra has such a strong following, and he is so passionate about music and the industry. So he definitely, grabbed onto this opportunity and said, I'm gonna come down, me ace up all of the team. And then we have the reigning Power Monarch, Jalen Olive Boise, is going to be a part of the competition as well, because he's like, let me see if I can be a boss in the cyber world too. And he likes a challenge. So I appreciate that so much about him. And then Dash said, Kiki, just tell me how much your first prize is, because appearance and second place, that is not my conversation. I just want to know how much I get in when I win. I love that, because that's, that's the type of energy. And then if all of that wasn't enough, we pulled the man himself, Tallfree, out of retirement.
You managed that.
That is what I'm saying. Like, Tallfree hasn't been in competition for such a long time. And Tallfree was like, your mother what? So something like this could be going on. No. And Tallfree, not in it. He's like, nah. So we're like, okay, Free. We welcome you. It was just amazing, and the energy from them has been so great. They've been rehearsing with the band for over 2 weeks now. Right. So things have been happening behind the scenes to ensure that they are in tip-top shape and ready for the performance. A lot of them are thinking of even repurposing, having like shorter intro videos because they like building that sort of vibe. And then onto the stage, we're gonna have the effects and the lighting and all of that. Real vibes. Trust me.
It's a whole lot of vibes. 17 minutes gone past the hour. We have to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back, continue with the conversation, and give folks an appreciation as to how everything plays out. You have 2 hours on the night on which all of this has to take place.
Stop it.
We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Francis Urias Peters. To really know who I am, you must look at the plays that I've written over the past 30 years, because they reflect hard work, discipline, and my inner beliefs. Now, these values were shaped by my earlier bringings, because I was always curious about my roots and my identity as a Caribbean man. Now, I'm a good listener, and K105 has always been a great source of education and entertainment. Now, while the station name may have changed over the years, it has always provided valuable information which enabled me as a playwright to document and to celebrate our history, our behavior, and our achievements. K105 is my choice. It's the national station.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy.
To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal.
When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness,
I thought the things really getting excited. And good morning to those of you that's probably just joining me, and welcome to the televised edition of the Mid Morning Buzz. My guest this morning is Akira Paterson from Sunshine Promotions, and we delve in headfirst into the first ever Cyber Monarch. But while we're at it, just to keep you updated as we've continued to promise you during the day, as of 11 p.m., the center of Tropical Storm Gonzalo was located near latitude 9.6 degrees north, longitude 48.3 degrees west, approximately 803 miles southeast of Grenada. The storm is moving towards the west near 14 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds near 65 miles per hour with higher gusts. The estimated inner pressure 999 millibars. Some strengthening is forecasted within the next couple of days, and the storm could become a hurricane tonight or Friday. It is moving westward towards the west-northwest. The center of Gonzalo will appear in southern Windward Islands Friday night and move across the islands on Saturday evening. The tropical storm is expected to bring cloudy and windy conditions with moderate to heavy showers and thunderstorms to Grenada by Saturday morning into the afternoon, with possible flooding and landslides in areas so prone. The Met Office will continue to monitor the storm as it develops and provides updates as deemed necessary at a timely manner. Yes, we can have the next official advisory is expected at 5 in the afternoon. We want to continue encourage you at all times, as I've continued to highlight, to remind you that try not to get too worried and overly reactive over the varied information that is out there. Those are the four people that are forwarding stuff to you, information you're getting on the internet. Yeah, a family member is going to call you and tell you, well, I'm in Barbados and Barbados has said X, Y, and Z. Remember, based on your different longitudinal and latitudinal and longitudinal positions, what may vary, what may be, of course, may work for, or might be there and maybe the catering for one island may not be for the same. So continue to listen to Classic 105.5, 105.9, and Hot 98. Right? So let's leave that right there, because we're about to get back into the storm of our own, because AP is on the line. AP, before the break, I must say, what you've gathered, quite a balanced cast. You have the likes of Looney Spark and Electrify. You've thrown in a few of the younger guys that's in there, the upcoming ones, and those looking to put their name on it. You have the man like Dash in there. I mean, he's proven his wood and his metal. And when you think it's all over and done, you decide to throw the man take him on the retirement, and say, boy, let's do this. Excitement, the energy is going to build. August the 7th, here we come.
Yes. And you see, the thing that I love about this cast too is that everyone is equally dedicated to showcasing Grenada at its best. Because when you really sit and think about it, this is a quiet time for quite a few people. So this is the perfect opportunity to show exactly what Grenadian talent has to offer. And the guys are definitely rising to the occasion. And I think that's one of the main reasons that came back into it as well, because he's like, this is a time when we could really show everyone what Grenada has to offer. And the advantage of it being online is that people all over the world can view, not just in the immediate region or in the immediate diaspora, but people from the Ukraine, people from the Czech Republic, people from Istanbul. It doesn't matter. Like, people all over, once you have access to the internet, you can purchase the pay-per-view through GoToFet, click on the link that will be sent to you, and then boom, you're at the National Stadium. And what we really wanted to kind of overdo it, because there are a few live events that's happening, throughout the region, internationally, etc. But in order to make this event something that's worth the effort and the extra dollars and cents of people, because they're paying for it, it's in support of the artists, but still, we wanted to ensure that the event would be something that's gonna wow you still. So hence the reason why we broke out the big guns of the big 40 by 60 stage, the 300 lights and all of that, the pyro, the different effects and stuff that's going to be used for the night for the artists and all of that. And that's why the artists take to the studio to even put out new hits for this event specifically, and just to showcase Grenada's culture at its best. And I think that this is the perfect opportunity. I think that this is a perfect strategy. And I think in the long run, it'll be so beneficial to Grenada's carnival, because when things really do open back up, people will be like, no, what I saw virtually in Grenada was amazing. So let me see what could possibly actually happen if I'm in that experience
And it's
of Grenada.
And it's interesting that you said that, because I had a conversation with Electrify, and I was saying to him, and with other individuals, and when I tell you that, I firmly believe it, that when we've rode through the COVID-19 storm and we've come out on the other side, I get the sense there's going to be a hunger. And there's going to be a passion beyond like no other for all things Grenada. So people's going to be saying, you know what? I miss 2020. Me ain't sure these days you can't take anything for granted anymore. You know what? Come 2021, I am going to have a ball of a time. And you get in the sense that there's going to be a hunger, there's going to be a thirst, an overriding energy, not just here at home, but across the region and worldwide. And that is literally where the focus is going to be on Grenada. So let's look at what's going to happen on the night, Akira.
Yes.
So you have 2 hours within which to complete this master production. And what I'm liking about this, it will take a lot of skill, because normally in Grenada we have some of our own culture. Is Grenada, we go start this, we say start that. But I know when it comes to Sunshine Promotions, if we say when you say we starting at time, give us, just create, you talk about the lights, the everything else, but just add some more of the theatrics that we can expect. There's also a halftime show.
Yes. So also this is a twofold production, because there's the production of what is happening on stage at the venue and the production of what people are going to be seeing on their television. So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. There are certain models that have worked for Soca Monarch competitions in the past. And so we're adopting some of those models and reapplying it to a virtual space. So we will have a panel of 5 judges that will sit in the stadium at the area. We will reveal all of the judges next week, so people can look forward to that, to knowing exactly who the judges are. We are going to have a viewer's choice component. So just like how you had a 10 points allocated in the criteria for crowd response, we are adapting that for a virtual space. So people who are tuned in online will actually be able to vote for their favorite performer on the night, and that will have an effect points-wise in terms of who is going to be crowned at the end of the night. So the artists have really started rallying their teams for that. Now, the 2 hours was initially put out when we were still on the curfew. So we were like, okay, we're working with limited time. Let's see. But eased a bit now. We're still sticking to that 2-hour time frame. But if we go over by about a half hour, because we want to incorporate different elements of carnival within the halftime show, then I think that's okay. That's definitely okay. But the first round is going to be the groovy round. Each performer will have no more than 7 minutes on stage. So whereas the previous competition, they were accustomed to 10 minutes, this time it's 7 minutes. And there's going to be the big giant stock clock that's going to be in the stands. So they'll be seeing it as the time comes down.
You can't say you didn't see it.
You cannot say you did not see the giant stop clock blinking at you, counting down from 7 minutes. So the performance is going to be no less than 5, but no more than 7. So the artists have those parameters to work within. So some of them that want to readapt, they're like, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm like, there will be a ramp on the side of the stage, so you can bring up whatever you want to bring up and stuff like that, but just make sure that you keep it within those 7 minutes. And we've been in conversation with the COVID committee to see, well, how many people could be facilitated on a stage at a time, given the amount, etc. So that's why we chose to do the huge 40 by 60 stage so that the band could be there. We'll have the background vocalists, and then we'll have a few dancers, etc., for the performers while they're on stage to just give it that sort of meat and that sort of beef that we're accustomed to for a Soca Monarch type of event. So we're doing that, and then so after the first round, we have the halftime show, and we've already confirmed the fabulous and fantastic Vaughn for the halftime show.
Nice.
And he is also a reigning monarch together with Dash. They tied for Groovy Kings last year. So he's like, no. I'm definitely going to be a part of this. And so he's going to be doing that. And then we're looking to add a couple other acts as well, because we want to involve as many, performers that can feasibly happen so that people can all benefit from this. And then after the halftime show, we move into the power round. Same 7 minutes that each performer will have on stage is the same 9 that took part in the Groovy will take part in the power, and it will be non-stop power and action for those 9 performances, one after the next. And then at the end of the night, the decision would be made by the judges and also through the voting of the viewers who are on the stream. And then if that wasn't enough, we're giving away $75,000 in cash prizes on the night, $20,000 to the first place winner, second place $15,000, third place $10,000, and every performer from place 4 to 9 is going to be getting $5,000 regardless.
Okay.
So that's the minimum that everybody is going to get. But in addition to that, Digicel threw in another $10,000 for the People's Choice. So imagine if you come first and you get that $20,000 from us, and you're also the People's Choice, you get an additional 10 grand from Digicel, which means you're walking away with $30,000 at the end of that night. Like in the same way, if you come 5th or you came 6th, let's say you get the $5,000, but you're also the People's Choice because people voted for your song. The most you walk away with $15,000. So it's just as though you came second in the competition. So
it means on the night, Akira, you can't leave anything up to chance.
No.
You must come with your A game.
You have to come with your A game. So as much as the artists appreciate how much money they are earning during this time from being a part of this competition, they're also rising to the occasion because they're like, no, we're coming to win. So like people, pulling out the teams, pulling out the hammers, and the building the props and all of that. But that's the type of spirit and enthusiasm that we want to, continue and commend, within the artists to ensure that they keep that exuberance and enthusiasm for the art form, so that when things do open up, they still have that excitement for their craft.
We got 5 minutes left, Akira. But what I wanted to, because I know you're always going to find concerns from varying spectrums. The fact that we're still in COVID-19, I know you spoke to it a bit in terms of the size of the stage that gives you affordability of having, of course, enough space. But when it comes to, we know, of course, when the guys get on stage, they come on with their dancers, their different individuals. What's the social distancing protocol also be in place will govern what happens in terms of their performance, their interaction, and all this sort of things?
Yes, definitely. Because first of all, before anything, everybody will have their temperature checks to ensure that they are at the, just like if you're going into a store, or you're going into a building, you will do your temperature checks to ensure that you are good. For the dancing routines, they have creative control over that, but we're going to make sure that we do checks for everyone to at least ensure that the dancers, even if they come into contact with each other, they're still healthy and they don't risk exposing others. And a few of them will have their adaptations with their masks and stuff like that. So a lot of that is going into the thought process as well, because even though we want to put on a show, we want people to have a good time, the artists to have a good time, and the spectators to have a good time, we also want everybody to be safe. And that's the most important thing with us. So we're going to ensure that as many protocols that we can adapt for that type of situation will be. And we're in close communication with the COVID committee and Dr. George Mitchell to ensure that everything we do is going to be, safe for everyone, the production as well as the performers.
big bucks, no whammies, only big bucks on the night.
Only big bucks.
Only big bucks. It's pay-per-view. In terms of purchasing of those tickets, what platforms are available for that to be done?
All right. So it's very simple for everyone. You could go on to gotofed.com and you will see there's a pay-per-view section, and you would see the Cyber Monarch information right there. You click, it's only 15 US. So you could go on to GoToFet and get that. If you're on social media, you could just check out our Sunshine Promotion social media page, and the link is there in our website site. Or if you go onto Instagram, you click the link in the bio and it takes you straight to the pay-per-view for purchase for online. Now, for people who want to add it to their television packages, all they have to do is contact Flow, and they can have that added to their pay-per-view channel subscription for the month of August. And it's the same $15. So we're charging people the same amount of money throughout. We wanted to keep it reasonable. Yes, we know it's going to be an expensive production, very much so. It's going to require a lot from us, but we also understand that people have limited spending power now. There's a lot that people have to budget for. So we wanted to keep it as reasonable as possible. So that's why we settled on the price of 15 US. So everyone will pay that, whether it's on local access or whether it's online through GoToFed.
Indeed, we can feel the excitement and the energy in the air. We're almost ready to wrap up. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to remind Grenada, the rest of the world, where they need to be and why they need to be there on the night of August the 7th.
The final 30 seconds. Well, in traditional sense, I would say all roads lead to, but no, it's all channels click to. All of the internet is directed to the National Stadium on Friday, the 7th of August for the first Cyber Monarch competition. Again, it's a groovy and power soca event. We are seeing some of the best in Grenada represent the country and their art form. It's a groovy and power soca event, so we're looking out for the best groovy songs, best power songs, and loads of artists will be also involved in the entire event, including the halftime show. What I also want to remind people is that next week, the artists will be dipping for their order of appearance. And I know that a lot of the artists are very, that's usually a very tricky thing. They come with the energy because they want to get this position, because they believe that the position definitely has a part to play in the performance of the night. How that will adapt to a virtual space, we'll see. But if you want to be in on the action, just go to gotofed.com or contact Flow and have the pay-per-view added or purchase it in advance through GoToFed.
I can safely see Akira, a lot of homeowners, families, they may have to probably put up the premium on their homes because people won't get to mash up the stadium this year. They might mash up something at home.
Mash up something at home, so they need to check out the insurance and ensure that the premium is great.
You imagine your home, your living room, your crew, and Spark at them say, go left, mash up something.
Mash up something, and you mash up our chair just fly through your window, and it's like, wait.
Anyway, my dear, I know as the time draws closer, we're going to continue to have this conversation. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. Grenada, mark the date. It is on Friday. It is the 7th of August, happening at the National Stadium. It's pay-per-view. It's the first ever Cyber Monarch. Literally 9 artists on stage participated in a groovy and a power soca, and they'll be crowned the Cyber Monarch on the night. Thanks a lot, AP. All the best. Continue doing all the great things that you guys do. Have a great one. Take care. 20 minutes on to the hour. This is where I say my goodbyes to our viewers on television. It's always a pleasure being here with you. We reminded you at the top of the hour, for those of you that's in radio, the midday edition comes up at that time, and we continue to monitor the progress of Tropical Storm Gonzalo, and we'll just give you an update on that in just a bit. But we continue to ask you to remain in a state of in a perpetual mode. Do what you have to do. You don't want to be caught with your pants down, as they say. Preparation is key. That's what you want to ensure. Continue to do whatever you have to do to ensure that you keep yourself and your family safe. From all of us here at the GBN, those of you that's in television, so long everybody. JC loves you. Be good to yourself. I'll continue, of course, with you until 10 to the hour right here on Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band. So long, everybody. Those of you that's on television.
Pleasant good day to each and every one of you. On Monday the 20th,